From an elf tangled in toilet paper like a silly mummy, to an elf teaching a class of tangerines. Here are the 50 Elf on the Shelf tiny moments that are super funny and super weird. Get comfy and enjoy the video. Like this video and subscribe right now, or this evil elf on the shelf will be moving in your bed while you're sleeping tonight. This elf was caught playing hide and seek with the camera. It kept peeking in and out like it was teasing the viewers. You can tell it was having so much fun sneaking around. Here, someone makes an entire elf house out of egg cartons, and it's surprisingly adorable. Each little compartment becomes a room or a hallway, and the creativity is impressive. It proves you don't need fancy materials to make elf magic happen. With a few snips and paint, the whole thing turns into a cute little hideout. It's fun, crafty, and full of personality. This one's pretty wild. Someone tried to prank their elf by leaving chocolate-covered raisins in a jar, but things didn't go as planned. Let's just say the elf's reaction was not what anyone expected. You'll have to see this for yourself. In this clip, a woman proudly shows the cookies she made using the Elf on the Shelf mix. She holds up the tray like it's a chest full of treats. Here we see an elf helping out inside a real auto shop, surrounded by giant tools and huge car parts. It tries to look serious, like it's an official mechanic on the job. This clip shows a very hungry elf standing next to a box of Kellogg's cereal. It looks around, gets closer, and suddenly dives headfirst right into the box like it couldn't wait even one more second for breakfast. You can hear cereal crunching and shaking inside as the elf munches away happily. It's such a silly and adorable sight, and like watching a tiny kid jumping into their favorite snack. In this clip, a woman bakes teeny tiny cookies just for her elves. They're so small they could fit on a doll plate. She decorates them with mini dots of icing like she's doing serious art. In this clip, a group of elves has turned the dishwasher into a full car wash station. There are tiny cars on every rack, funny little details like sponges and soap bottles. The elves look like they've opened a busy elf business right in the kitchen. This clip shows an elf who somehow ended up stuck to the back camera of a car, like it was trying to photobomb the road. The little elf looks surprised but also kind of proud of its stunt. This elf couldn't decide where to sit. First the sink, then the counter, then nowhere at all. It kept moving around like it was looking for the perfect nap spot. Maybe it just didn't want the camera catching its every move. This clip introduces us to Abe, an elf who apparently loves driving. The camera catches him sitting in a tiny toy car, rolling across the room like he's on an adventure. The craziest part? He isn't even touching the steering wheel. The car moves all by itself as Abe cruises around using pure elf magic. It looks like the best miniature road trip ever. Oh no, like this poor elf got trapped inside a dog feeder. You can even see its tiny legs kicking around. Luckily, it starts talking later and explains how it ended up there. What a wild story.
An elf on the shelf. Wait, buddy? Buddy, are you okay in there?
Well, I'm doing all right, but the puppy, she keeps licking my feet. Well, Zach put me inside here for some reason, and it smells like dog treats. Not so tasty. I wish it was cookies instead. But yeah, Zach locked me in. Can you help save me, please?
In this funny clip, a woman goes to a store and pretends to be an actual elf on the shelf, causing silly chaos everywhere she goes. She sneaks around, hides behind shelves, and strikes silly elf poses like she's spying on customers. Two elves were seen sitting on the floor, gently rocking back and forth. It looked calm at first, until the movement started to look a bit off. The clip ends with something unexpected that'll give you goosebumps. In this wild clip, the family discovers two elves in the backyard after crashing their tiny toy car. The car is tipped over, the elves look totally shocked, and the whole scene is hilarious chaos.
Santa Claus, they won't ever come back.
What is that?
I think it's yours, Brayden.
In this magical morning discovery, the woman walks into her bathroom and finds the entire bathtub filled with cereal, as if the elves decided it was time for the world's biggest breakfast. The elves are sitting nearby, looking extremely proud of their silly masterpiece.
It's day 20, and the elves have decided to make a giant bowl of cereal. They have found the biggest bowl in the house, which is the bath, and they've filled it full of cereal. They're even tipping milk with a magic floating milk carton. They're all playing in it. Not too sure who's gonna clean it though. Thanks, elves.
In this charming clip, the elves make their big return in tiny hot air balloons. Each balloon hangs in the air with an elf sitting proudly inside, gently floating down into the living room. The way they're positioned makes it look like they've just arrived from way up in the sky. The scene feels calm, magical, and really special, like a welcome parade just for them. Such a sweet way to show your elves coming back for the holidays. Not all elves are mischievous. This one is super sweet. It was caught laying a tiny blanket on the floor for the dolls and even for a toy car. That's one caring elf. Maybe it's Santa's helper and a babysitter. In this clip, an elf appears in front of the camera, looks around quickly, and then turns its back and walks away like it's pretending not to care. A moment later, it comes back again, but this time it's rubbing its hands together like it's planning something sneaky. Then its elf friend joins in, and the two of them keep popping in and out of the shot, clearly up to some kind of mischief. When the owner suddenly walks into the room, one of the elves freezes just in time, barely avoiding getting caught mid-move. It feels like you're watching two tiny pranksters trying not to blow their own cover. This dad came up with a clever plan to finally catch his elf moving. He left out some elf snacks. For a while, nothing happened, until the elf flew into the room holding a marker and wrote, "Merry Christmas." Guess Santa's snacks are still the elf's favorite. These clever elves made their very own hot air balloon and started flying across the room with their baby elves. Maybe they were taking a quick vacation from the North Pole. Either way, it's one of the coolest elf ideas ever.
What are you doing on top of their hot air balloon? Whoa, it's so pretty with all the snowflakes. Are you two having a fun time? Boy, what were you two thinking? I cannot believe they're flying on top. Well, if you guys like this video, don't forget to like it down below. And if you'd like to see more crazy things that my elves do, you're welcome to subscribe to my channel and check out things that they do now, things that they do in the future, and things that they used to do.
Here, the elf owner knows her elf gets hungry at night, so she gives it a mountain of whipped cream. The elf is sitting there with its mouth open, waiting like it's about to eat the whole pile in one go. Cream is so big it almost looks bigger than the elf itself. It's a quick, silly scene that makes you laugh and say, that elf is definitely spoiled. It's the perfect late-night treat for a tiny troublemaker. Girl was playing with her elf when two more showed up and locked her inside the pantry. One even waved from under the door while laughing. That's one prank that might have gone a bit too far, even for elves.
Okay, you don't look as derpy. You look a little wonky. Your hat's coming off, Evel. But look at, there's this perfectly derpy little guy. He looks happy. And then here's this little sad squished guy. Lost his legs in surgery. Oh, hello! Welcome! Yes, we have a derpy, we have your members, but guess what? They got a new makeover!
In this wild clip, the elves have totally taken over the family car. There are balloons tied everywhere and colorful spray paint designs all over the outside. This elf was wandering around the kitchen, turning on the faucet like it owned the place. But just as it spotted the camera, it took off and flew right across the room. I guess it didn't want to get caught washing dishes. This clip is like a whole elf movie packed into a few seconds. First, you see elves snacking on cornflakes. Then they're fishing gummy bears out of a bowl like colorful little fish. After that, they've left cups of lemonade out for their owners, like a tiny surprise drink stand. Every scene is full of detail and feels like a new little story. It shows just how busy and creative elves can be when no one's watching. At midnight, a sneaky elf started flying around the dining room. It didn't notice the camera at first, but then suddenly zoomed into hiding really fast. In this clip, the owner shows off a magic trick that her elf supposedly taught her. She mixes simple things together and suddenly something cool and surprising happens, like the liquid changes or moves in a strange way. It looks like real magic, but it's actually a little science The elf watches proudly like a tiny lab partner from the North Pole. It's the perfect mix of learning and fun, and it makes you wonder what other tricks the elf knows. In this next clip, an elf is running the busiest toy car wash you've ever seen. Dozens of tiny cars are lined up in a long queue, waiting patiently. This clip is wild. An elf jumps off the fireplace and actually attacks its owner. After a short battle, the elf comes out as the winner, leaving the owner lying on the floor. Thankfully, the family came home just in time to help out.
Where did he go? Oh!
Honey, it's Daddy! Oh no!
At least the elf's okay.